started to draw, it was very long time ago, and I was really young. That seems for me the natural thing to do, because before that I was actually thinking about myself as a musician for some reason.
Oh, wow.
And then for a number of reasons, it was impossible to continue to pursue this career. So I started to draw. And originally it was just because I had the whole pictures imagining in my head. So I just started to draw what I saw. It was ready in my head. So actually I kept it for a while. I kept it a secret because nobody in my family thought about art as a career, or it was mostly the leisure rather than a path of a career. When I was 16 years old, I just enrolled myself into the art school. And even after graduation, my parents didn't see anything serious in this choice. Much later than I left for another country, and I left my parents' house that I just decided to draw. And for years, I was involved in a art-related projects, but in art-related jobs, like being a photographer, and that's how I know, and I do have an experience as a photographer and as an animation artist. But in culture I was raised in, nobody thought about art as a serious, as a career path. I just feel that I have to do that, and that's actually why I'm doing that. So can you, I don't know how other artists survive and where they just find their inspirations. I'm constantly ready to work. I have an ideas that just, I mean, everything might be an idea. It's, the possibilities are endless. So everything around us can be an idea.
Exactly.
It just my perception of things. So I see something, and I just I'm certain that everyone sees different things. Everyone's eyes is
Very
unique.
true.
So my idea of interpretation of the scene, it seems important. I don't know why. I might be wrong, but since people like what they see, not necessarily understanding, but there is a response to that. So I'm continuing doing that. And actually it's hard because I'm not expecting much from the viewer. I'm prepared that people are usually indifferent. Only sometimes where their response, actually, it's interesting because their response, people very happy to discover familiar things. And when they're presented with something that it's not realistic enough or absolutely strange for them, the idea is distant, so their response is not very encouraging. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly.
People
This is
are
very
happy
perspective. Yeah.
recognize. People are happy to recognize something familiar. For example, in this case, still lifes are the easiest part, the easiest works for people to comprehend. And I have a series of so-called subject paintings where I'm showing some interesting ideas that I have, and sometimes they don't meet any response at all. Start asking questions rather than having their own judgment.
I think this is the way new idea enters into any sector.
Actually, I don't really care if people understand or not. For me, exploring something, it's not an exploration. I have this vision that it's already ready painting. I can work for many hours before I'm finalizing this idea. I can work hours about thinking about design, but the whole idea, it doesn't the purpose of that, it's not to astonish someone or to impress someone. It's more likely my vision of something that deeper inside has the emotion that they were in the past. And I now, with my ability to convey that, I'm showing my emotion from the past to people, and they may have totally different set of emotions, and they may comprehend it totally differently. It doesn't matter. The piece supposed to be presented as a magical object, if you like, as an artifact. They just see final thing of that, and if it's new, so they are welcome to this new exploration and new set of emotion. I'm not aiming to show something that obvious, and people actually are happy while they recognize already existing not problem, the already existing set of emotions, rather than they're not ready to challenge themselves into something new. If you are talking about goal or mission, if you like, I'm actually leading them into something unexplored before, so they can, I'm challenging them in some way, because it's new thing. They didn't see it before. They didn't know about that before. So later on, they can discover that. And it's, by the way, it's very interesting fact that some of the paintings that I did 20 years ago, now they have response, and people appreciate that. And something that I created recently, it's not meeting appreciation. That gap, 20 years, it actually shows me how ahead I was, if you like. I was ahead with my idea, and they actually grew into that, if you like. So I'm dragging them with my pieces to see something new and to challenge with something new. So, but that's only talking about the subject paintings, or some where I'm exploring a little bit my vision about the present state of mind. If you've seen my pieces in a subject paintings, where it's more of a composition of including people and subject and objects. So these pieces are more challenging rather than portraits or still lifes. More challenging rather than portraits or still lifes. If you want to, I can tell you about different subject matters of my pieces. Apart from still lifes and portraits, I do have a section that I called not landscapes. It's a perception of places. While traveling, for example, I'm making few sketches of the place that I like or I'm interested in. And later when I'm coming home, I'm painting using the sketches. I'm painting this place, and it doesn't supposed to be documentary correct landscape. Right. It's just my memory of that. And it's my vision of that place. So I call it perception of places, and they are semi-abstract pieces. I'm considering them semi-abstract. Someone can call them landscapes, but they are not. Another topic, I was for years making illustration to Russian poetry. I just decided to paint illustration to something that it's impossible to paint. Since poetry is an abstract matter, so you can imagine to paint, it's actually started as a challenge. I'm not considering myself an abstract painter at all. So I started this as an exercise. How abstract can I be? Yeah. So I'm reading the poem. I've chosen 10 poets which are very dear to me. So I decided to make like a tribute to them. So I'm just reading the poem, and I'm making a sketch while I'm reading that, and then I put it into the comics-like windows and paint it in oil, and sometimes I provide the Russian text without translation, because I believe it's enough for the viewer to see the visual part of that and convey their own emotions about that. So the series was 10, I mean, I'm still thinking about continuing, but it was a 10 window-like, comics-like windows of oil painting with the wording. And it was, yeah, the whole sequence was 10 pieces. And to my surprise, many people were moved even without understanding the wording part. But I just discovered for myself that I'm not an abstract painter at all, because even then, I know that poetry is abstract matter. I'm literally drawing what I'm including the real subject from the poetry lines. So, but with this discovery, another came up. I just realized that I'm very triggered by words. So if there is a line, whatever poetry, it might be not necessarily poetry, but I can see the whole picture, and with this thing, I can start working on something really important to me. So I'm literally triggered by words.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Else, another idea of involving the photographic prints that I made many years ago. Actually, I keep enormous amount of photographic prints that I've taken the pictures many years ago, and the amount of this was huge, and I was wondering what I was going to do with that. And then I just decided to add some comments to these pictures. You know, you remember the photograph that you've taken, and then something is missing. So I started to paint over these prints, and using collages technique, mixed media,
I have seen,
whatever was available.
With photographs and all.
There is
one experiment I have
35
seen. Yeah, it was 25. I have seen one or two on net.
You know, this whole section called Bits of Memories, there is 35 pieces in this section. So there are 35 prints with the adding comments. I'm calling them. My children laughing. It started, I just thought how boring for them will be look through the photographs, especially, you know, there are doubles, one successful, another less successful. So I'm taking this less successful and I'm just covering this with my notes, which is paint mostly, and is becoming something else. So I do have the original photograph, and I do have this photograph with the comments. So the whole bunch of them, they're becoming much more interesting.
Apart from painting, of course, in painting you have a vast work set, no doubt. But you also explored collage, photography as well, miniature objects, wall mosaic, and policies. So, but you did not explore much.
This is for pure. It's a pure fun. You know, I belong to this group of artists that I cannot produce something constantly. I cannot be in the same subject for very long. For example, I'm coming to some idea and I'm exploring this idea, and I can make set of 10 pieces in this particular idea, and then something changes, and during this time that I'm exploring this idea, new challenge coming up. So I'm actually changing subject, and I'm changing my approach, and that's becoming a new idea. And then I'm exploring that. That's actually the secret why my paintings changing. They change with me, and they change with the subject I'm interested in. So I cannot produce hundreds of pieces in the same topic, even if it was successful, because I know artists, they, for example, find in their successful how to put it, successful topic, and they can produce hundreds and hundreds of pieces,
Right.
and it's not boring for them. Maybe because it's a good business, maybe because it's rewarded in some way. I don't know why, but I am immediately bored. So after producing 8 top 10 pieces in this particular media and in this particular style, I'm changing style and I'm drifting somewhere and I'm changing my topics, and that's why it's a huge difference between my old works and my contemporary works. Actually, everything in between also different. And if you see the time frame, like they change it, you can see the continuity in that. You can see the resemblance, why and how I drifted from that into that, and then how I become interested in something else. But if you take in the oldest one and the newest one, there's a huge gap in between, and there is no connection between these two. And that's people thinking that I'm actually changing it abruptly. No, it's happening gradually with the time. So if I'm answering that, why am I doing that? I don't know.
I found when I have seen photography and very few photography I was able to refer. A very short collage set also I referred. Miniature objects I have seen in one of your exhibition displays, and wall mosaic. I think it was only work, but between these 5 another sections, additional sections rather than painting, all were different from and each other with different set of forms you played, different set of ideologies I believe you played, different set of material and representative aptitude you have.
It might be another impact on that I lived in different places. We changed country. Okay, what I'm trying to say that the materials and the light and the air is different. You know how different different light can affect the piece. So the whole set of colors, the whole palette, the whole attitude to the canvas was different. And we came to sunnier place. It's the paint behaves differently. The light affects objects differently.
Exactly.
So and the attitude is differently. Also, I've changed several times. When what I was 30 years ago, it's not the same. I mean, it is inside the same values, but my view, my eye, my perception of things became different. When people ask what style I mean, my paintings, what do you call them? The type of the, I don't know that. So actually, it's up to you. You as a viewer, you may call that whatever you want to call, because I don't have the name for that. I just know that approximately when I was pressed, I was just calling that subconscious realism, because what I'm painting, it's realistic things. They're not abstract. It's all figurative and it's all exist. It's just how my eye change that, and how my emotion changed that. So I'm showing you my inside view on the things that we're sharing. So you see the same thing, but I see differently. Why am I bothered to show you my way? I don't know. You may find it beautiful, and that's a good enough reason for me.
Actually, this is a I believe this is incredible, simply incredible, because in this world, very rare people have this acumen, I understood, especially among intellects. Usually, all of us join a particular frame section and enjoy our remaining life into. But the best part with your works, which I must appreciate, that you traveled along with time.
You will be surprised how little people appreciate that. It's not that.
See whether people appreciate or not.
The correct emotion brought to my, provoked with my paintings. people don't understand why am I doing that. Especially, it's not that easy to survive. I mean, literally to live and have income. It's almost impossible. So I guess I just don't know what else can I do with the same intensive attitude. And I'm continuing because I'm too old to change things for myself and start all over, like deleting everything and starting all over again with something new. I tried several times. I'm not doing that anymore, but apparently I can't. Since I'm opening my studio for Sala Festival. Sala Festival, it's happening every August in Australia, in South Australia. It's called South Australia Living Artist Festival. And during this month, in August, I'm opening my studio for public to visit, so they can come over to my place and I can show them much more works rather than putting it into the official gallery, because gallery, it has only walls. Here in the studio, I can just put stuff on the table and people can browse through. So this coming August, it will be devoted, the exhibition will be devoted to these bits of memories.
Definitely,
That's
this
a
will be a
new
very wonderful
idea.
initiative. Yeah.
Yeah.
People could come and visit at your place. So definitely at your own place, there are ample possibility to display all them. And this definitely will be a wonderful time.